I grew up in Wimbledon. My parents moved here when I was 6 years old. My father came over just before the war. He was German Jewish. My mother was in Austria, and they came over, I think, in about 1936 or 7. My parents read to me, yes. They read Winnie the Pooh, and my father would laugh and repeat the lines. They read all the classics. Well, the first book I fell in love with was probably Treasure Island. I couldn't stop reading that book when I was 11. I remember being in bed, upstairs actually, in this house, reading it, and it just had a big effect because it transported me into a different land. And I've always been fascinated by the sea, by pirates, by adventure, treasure. It captured everything. It had all those things in this book. And of course the young boy in it was close to the age I was, I think. It had everything. And I thought, my God, this is what books can do. They can transport you. I live in the family home. I left because I went to university and then moved around, and I came back to the area because my mother was quite sick. I mean, I loved growing up here, so it has great, memories for me. It's a very calming house, and I've been very lucky to be able to have lived here, really. I find the thing that's really appealing about books and why I'm attracted to them, there's a physicality there. I like holding them, I like the look of them, I like the scent. There's a calming sense, I find, of seeing a lot of books on a shelf. It's a different experience if you're reading a Kindle, obviously, to reading a book, because if you're on a tube or on a bus, somebody's reading a Kindle, people don't generally say, "What are you reading?" But if you're reading a book, people can see the title often, they can see what you're reading. And if I'm on a tube and I'm laughing out loud reading a book, it'd be a very interesting experiment. Would somebody on that tube who sees it go and say, "Oh, I want to buy that book"? They might think the guy's a nut and I don't want to go anywhere near it, but I'm very positive about all forms of reading. I love books. I wanted to do something with books. My parents advised me that was the most appalling idea, and I should actually keep my love of books as a hobby and have a profession, become an accountant, become a lawyer. I didn't really want to do that, so I applied to a graduate trainee scheme in publishing. I got into one at Hodder Stoughton, and I worked in publishing for 20 years. It's very interesting to try and find the answer to the kind of million-dollar question, which is this book publishable? Is this book not publishable? Nobody knows. Harry Potter took ages to get published, and now it's a huge, huge brand. But for me, it has to appeal to me, and I have a visceral reaction, personal reaction. And that's all very exciting to see how a book grows from being a small kind of acorn into an oak. So the advice I would give to any writer is, if there is some good advice, learn from it. Hold your nerve, keep persevering, and don't give up.
Click the videos to watch more Londoners, and don't forget to subscribe.